Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Hobart begins now.
Good evening. The voting polls have officially closed for the latest round of Legislative Council elections as Tasmanians braved the cold to cast their ballots. Some observers say the vote could play a key role in determining how legislation for the Macquarie Point Stadium will play out in the upper house.
It's dubbed the House of Review, but Tasmanians are the ones doing the assessment today in 3 electorates, a warm democracy sausage keeping voters cosy in the wet.
Oh, I'm used to it. I love it.
With a range of issues weighing on their minds, from health and housing to Macquarie Point Stadium.
The stadium has made me look at the economic situation of the state.
The aquaculture industry would be my number one.
Those aiming to hang on to their seats in Pembroke and Nelson, striking one last pose to the cameras and aren't taking anything for granted.
Second time around, you're sort of defending it almost. So yeah, it's a different feeling, but you know, vibes just as positive this time as last time.
I'm confident that I've given this job everything that I could for the last 6 years and really delivered for my community.
As the upper house hopefuls contesting them look to break through, though it's open season in Montgomery, with long-serving Legislative Councillor Leonie Hiskett stepping down.
The Liberal Party has been hit badly across the state at the federal election, and it really does mean that seat is more open than we would expect.
Her son, independent candidate Casey Hiskett, is seeking to carry on his family's legacy his own way, up against former Senator Stephen Parry for the Liberals.
I've always staunchly been an independent, and I think that's where the upper house should be. But, you know, I've often said that Mum she's a little lady, she's got little shoes, but they'll be very big to fill.
The results could prove crucial for the proposed Hobart Stadium and the Tassie Devils AFL teams. The Premier currently needs support from 2 upper house independents to pass special legislation, but that could change depending on who gets in.
It's been a polarising issue, and we'll see how polarising in some ways by the outcome of these elections.
With Jeremy Rockcliffe staking it all on the enabling laws, which he hopes to get the green light for in July, the government will be watching this election with interest. Anthony Dodd, 7 Tasmania News.
A man in his 70s has died in an ATV crash in the state's northwest. Authorities were called to the Somerset property just before 6 o'clock last night. The driver of the vehicle died at the scene. Police will conduct an investigation into the cause of the crash and a report will be prepared for the coroner. A tourist has been rescued after becoming lost on the Lake Wilkes track at Cradle Mountain, Lake St Clair National Park. Authorities were notified just before 7 o'clock last night, with the 30-year-old found without injury at 1:45 this morning after a search by police and SES. It's prompted another reminder from police about being adequately prepared before embarking on hikes in our wilderness areas. Despite being overlooked for the Senate vacancy left by Anne Urquhart, Union's Tasmania Secretary Jess Monday says she's happy with her role leading the organisation. The Labor Party's national executive has picked community and public sector union organiser Josh Deloga instead, after 7 people nominated for the position. But that decision has reportedly angered some party members.
I am happy to serve the Tasmanian union movement. I'll leave those matters for others to comment on. I'm incredibly privileged to do the job I do every day.
Delega will serve the remaining 3 years of Urquhart's term. With more than 600 fireworks events registered for this year's Cracker Night, there's no sign this Tasmanian tradition is waning. A proposal to loosen restrictions on some pyrotechnics is aiming to cut the red tape that the industry feels has a stranglehold on its future.
Designed to draw eyes to the skies. Hope's now growing that Cracker Night may return to a shade of its former glory, under a government proposal to loosen restrictions on fireworks.
They've become very outdated and unworkable.
There is too much red tape around Cracker Night.
Such as protective packaging being included in weight limits. Changes that could affect next year's Cracker Night include lengthening the window for firing from 2 30-minute slots to 3 consecutive hours.
Rather than feeling like if they miss that one narrow window earlier in the evening, they won't be able to let them off at all.
Operators welcoming any relaxation of the rules they feel have a stranglehold on the industry.
We've got a future now because the situation was it was unworkable. So now we're onwards and upwards.
But pyrotechnic enthusiasts are being reminded that looser restrictions don't mean carefree firing.
If the community actually works together on it, I mean, it's one thing to legislate it, but then, you know, as a neighbour, you should be considerate of those around you.
It's important that we're good neighbours.
The proposed changes also including the introduction of low-noise fireworks that use a new kind of technology to stay almost silent. But to get more bang for your buck,
nothing quite beats the bang of the fireworks.
People need a bit more of a bang to get excited.
So more Tasmanians can enjoy a cracker of a night. Tom Crosby, 7 Tasmanian News.
Dozens of Tasmanian workers have used May Day to raise the alarm over potential public sector job cuts. Latest government figures show 59 positions have been left unfilled since March 3. Some of those include nursing roles as well as library and technology-related jobs. It comes amid the state government's hiring freeze, sparking outrage among unions and the opposition.
You can't tell me that nurses aren't essential. You can't tell me that park rangers aren't essential. Librarians, people that work in our health education systems, all over our public sector need to have solid employment.
It's time to make sure that it's the right size and that we're able to deliver the services that we need while returning back to a pathway to surplus.
The state budget will be handed down on Thursday. The Old Scholars Football Association has turned pink for a breast cancer awareness game. A beloved mother is the face of this year's match, with vital funds raised to support her and others impacted by the disease.
Brodie Langford bleeds blue, red and green, but was more than happy to be in pink. The Old Scholar football player honouring his mum after her recent cancer diagnosis.
Yeah, as soon as you hear that cancer word, it's pretty scary. And I've got young children and things like that. I've got a family myself, so it's awful to hear. The
beloved club matriarch, also known as Mama Bung, recently started chemotherapy.
You can't explain it. The worst thing was having to tell my children because they're my world. It's not a nice word. It's really not, and it's been scary.
Tony Marie, the deserving face of today's game.
Oh, it's absolutely amazing. I'm a bit overwhelmed. I had to take some Valium to calm down. But it's just so special.
Two footy rivals putting aside their difference in a top-of-the-table clash, all for a great cause. Raising funds and awareness for the Breast Cancer Network Australia.
It's a big game today, 1v2, but for DOSA to get around the cause as well, it's great.
A sea of pink showing support for those touched by the disease.
We don't normally see this much pink, so this is basically the first time we've done something of this magnitude, so it's really great. I have dressed up on pink with my pink leather pants.
You know, in our footy community there's about 60 players and there's 3 or 4 families directly affected as we speak.
Cancer Day is my day as well as everyone else's.
This year, more than 20,000 women and 170 men will be diagnosed with breast cancer. That's more than 58 people every day whose lives are changed forever.
It's happening to so many women. You just need to keep checking your breasts all the time.
Rebecca Gadaneris, 7 Tasmania News.
The Hobart Chargers men have showed their dominance on home court with a 23-point win against the Ringwood Hawks last night.
Mismatch, pass, Richards for a jam!
Unfortunately, it wasn't the same story for the women's team, who lost by a margin of 21 points. A wet and drizzly Utah Stadium didn't dampen the mood as round 1 football action in the AFL Tasmania Representative Series kicked off. NTFA started strong for the first half before the Northwest put them firmly on the back foot. But a second-term blitz saw the NTFA quickly bounce back, managing to take home the win by 23 points. Brighton are licking their wounds, suffering a 62-point loss to Kingborough in this afternoon's round 7 SFL match. The two sides contested a tight clash until half-time, but the Tigers pulled away in their second term, booting 11 goals. The loss to Brighton a huge blow, still sitting bottom of the ladder. Hobart Hurricane Caleb Jewell has smashed his way past another cricketing milestone, scoring his maiden county century over in the UK. The hard-hitting left-hander wasted no time getting on the board as his Derbyshire side piled on the runs against Kent.
from. This time he goes back and cracks it away. The backward point for 4 runs, the Australian.
Extracting 15 boundaries from the Kent bowlers, Jewel powered ahead to end day 1 on 152 not out.
Good evening. I hope your weekend is treating you well so far. It was 15 in Hobart today, 18 for Launceston, Devonport and Burnie. The state's top was recorded in Friendly Beaches with 19, 18 in St Helens, King Island, Smithton, Low Head and Ouse all 17, 16 on Flinders, Strawn 15 and 14 in Grove, 11 just in Laiweni. Extensive cloud was seen about eastern and southern Tasmania today. Areas of low pressure moved over the state, extending to parts of the southeast. Tomorrow, a cold front will cross Tasmania and weaken to a trough as a narrow ridge approaches. West-northwesterly winds in the west and south, increasing upward of 30 knots, 15 to 25 knots in the east and west, with westerly swells building to 3 metres in western and southern waters. A gale warning has been issued for coastal waters between Sandy Cape to east of Flinders Island. We also have a strong wind warning for most remaining waters, excluding the east coast. Another possible early shower in Hobart tomorrow, 17 with cloud clearing in Richmond, easing showers in Ouse with 16 the maximum. Showers also easing in the north, Launceston 16, 15 for both Devonport and Deloraine. Showers backing off in Burnie and Strawn, 15 to the top, much the same in Curry, 17, but winds picking up there. Maybe some showers followed by sunny skies across the east, St Helens and Swansea 17, winds increasing in Whitemark with 17 also. Forecast for Monday, showers about the west and north extending statewide throughout the day. Possible thunderstorms are likely about the west and north coast. And on Tuesday, showers, although more frequent about western, central and southern districts. The forecast for Wednesday remains much the same. Easing showers in Perth tomorrow, 19. A fine and sunny 18 in Melbourne, fine 2 in Canberra, but a few showers over Broome. Hobart, partly cloudy right now, 13 degrees, showery across Launceston and also Devonport. The Make-A-Wish Foundation's Gala Ball is just about to kick off in Hobart tonight, Lou, granting special wishes for sick kids right across the state.
And that's all your news for this Saturday night. Thank you for joining us. We'll be with you again tomorrow. Good night.